Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to sew these fabulous gloves made for drag queens. We're going to make full opera style gloves, as well as a fingertipless glove, and a fingerless glove. Let's get started. First, let's talk about the sewing pattern. We're going to use the multi-style drag queen glove sewing pattern available at katkow.net or on my Etsy shop linked below. The pattern comes with different lengths and finger styles you can choose from. This pattern was made because I could never find fashion gloves that fit me properly online. They were either too tight, too small, or just made for petite hands. This pattern definitely runs larger than standard sizes and will fit average to large melt arms and hands. So check out the size guide provided to find your correct size. Once you downloaded the pattern, simply print it out. For detailed instructions on how to print and assemble my patterns, please check out my other video linked here at the top. Once printed, you're going to want to trim or fold the margins and tape all of the pages together. And cut out the glove that matches your size. We're then going to mark in between the fingers where the seam line is and puncture holes there so we can transfer the marking to our fabric. This is going to tell us where to stop sewing in between the fingers. Let's take a closer look at the sewing pattern. Here you will see the cut line for the fingertipless option, as well as the fingerless option. Below you will see the cut lines for the wrist length, the forearm length, elbow length, and a bicep opera length. Let's first sew a full opera style glove. For all of these glove styles, you're going to want to use a 2-way or 4-way stretch fabric. You do not want to use a non-stretch fabric. Fold your fabric into 2 layers and flatten it out as much as you can. Then trace the entire glove and mark the holes that we punctured. Then mirror the glove for the opposite hand. Then pin both layers of fabric together all around the arm and the fingers of each glove. You want to make sure the 2 layers of fabric do not move around as we sew the gloves. We are not going to cut the glove out entirely. We're going to trim around the gloves and simply cut them into 2. You then want to cut the bottom hem line of each glove. We're going to sew the 2 layers of fabric together first before cutting the shape of the glove entirely. You want to go over the marks in between the fingers a bit more just so we know exactly where to stop sewing. We're going to sew with the zigzag stitch, or you can serge, along the sides of the glove, stopping at the thumb and the pinky. We're then going to sew with straight stitches around and in between the fingers. Going to pin at the pinky and thumb so that we know where to switch our stitch style. For perfect curves around the fingertips, you want to take your time. I like to turn the sewing machine wheel by hand 2 times, then lifting the presser foot as I turn around the curve, and repeat for all of the fingertips. And here you can see a close-up of the straight stitches and curves around the fingertips. Now you can remove all of the pins. Before you cut the glove, you want to try it on so you can make any adjustments as needed. Once you're satisfied with the fit, I like to go over the zigzag and straight stitches again just to secure the 2 layers of fabric together. Now you can finally cut out the glove shape. We're then going to hem around the bottom of the glove with the zigzag stitch. And there you have your finished opera gloves. For the fingertipless gloves, we're going to cut at this line. We're also going to cut a shorter glove length. We're then going to trace the glove pattern on 2 layers of fabric, also marking the seam point in between the fingers. Pin the 2 layers of fabric together and cut out the glove shape, not cutting in between the fingers, as we're going to hem along the fingertip line and thumb line first before sewing the 2 layers of fabric together. Here you can see a close-up of the hemmed fingertip line for 1 layer of fabric. Now I apologize for the blurriness of this next shot, but once you've hemmed the fingertip lines of each layer, you then want to stack the layers together right sides facing each other, pin, and sew along the sides and the gap in between the thumb with a zigzag stitch. You're then going to sew in between the fingers with a straight stitch. Then you can hem the bottom of the glove with a zigzag stitch. Trim the fabric in between the fingers, making sure to not cut your stitches. I like to use a lighter to burn off any thread ends showing for a more clean look. And there you have your fingertipless glove. For fingerless gloves, we're going to cut at the fingerless lines. Trace the pattern on 2 layers of fabric, then pin the 2 layers together. For this style, we can cut out the full glove and unpin the 2 layers. We're going to hem the 2 layers separately with a zigzag stitch along the knuckle line and the thumb. We're then going to stack the 2 layers of fabric together, right sides facing each other, and sew along the sides and the thumb gap with a zigzag stitch. Then hem the bottom of the glove with a zigzag stitch. You can then burn off any excess threads. And there you have your fingerless gloves. And that's it for today. You can get 10% off any of my sewing patterns at katkow.net with code WELCOME10. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. Bye everyone!